Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another stream, welcome back to another video. "500 subs on YouTube. Wow, who would have thought, eh? Well, as you can tell by looking at this here, we're doing something a little different this time. We're going a little bit less modern, although a lot of countries still do these. We're doing the F-4 Phantom, and as you can tell here, because I've got two pictures of it, you might guess that I'm going to be doing two different kits, and that would be a good guess. I wanted to build an ROKAF Phantom because, as you know, I'm kind of in love with Korea and Korean culture and all that good stuff. So I wanted the decals, definitely. But from what I've heard about the Academy kit, it's not that great. And so I got the Tamiya one there. And so I'm going to actually build both so that we can do a comparison of the two, where Tamiya maybe got some stuff better, where Academy maybe got some stuff better. This is one of the few times where I actually have not even opened the boxes yet. I've got nothing opened and prepared yet. So this is literally, like, this is the way this one came. And although the box wasn't sealed, I haven't even opened it up. So that's a new one. So we're going to start off with literal real unboxing and get to it. I've already kind of got ideas on paint colors and schemes. I am going to go with that scheme there on the Korean one, the green and brown camouflage. Although I have the greens, I'm going to be using Mr. Colors on these, on that guy. Number 303 and 309. 303 just being green, and, well, actually they just call them both green. That's the colors of these. They're both green. They're just different FS numbers. But anyway, as you can tell, they are two different shades. Yeah, so that's those. I don't have the brown yet. I've got to go to the hobby store and get the brown. As for the other kit, it's kind of actually going to be backwards, because I'm going to be doing the Tamiya kit is going to be in camouflage, and the Academy kit is going to be in the more traditional light gray color. It calls for Tamiya's AS16 light gray, but I really don't want to use the can, because if I use this actual thing, then it makes it difficult for doing touch-ups and little things like that. I either need to decant this or spray it into something and make a little puddle and dip a brush in, and it's a pain in the neck. So I want to try and find a color that, in like a lacquer, whether it's a Mr. Hobby or it's a Tamiya XF color, or even their LPs, something that's going to match this. I've looked online, and there's a couple of things that might be matches, but I want to see it with my own eyes and see what color is actually going to match the AS16. So I'm going to make a trip to the hobby store a little bit later today. I do have an appointment I got to take my dad to later, so but I got about an hour and a half or so to kill, and so I want to get this started, and instead of playing World of Warcraft, I'll start a new project. So let's get this thing open. Let's start with the Tamiya kit. Get this guy open here, and let's see. I've heard great things about this kit. If you watch Duke's models on YouTube, he seems to like his F-4 Phantoms, and he does a pretty good comparison series on them, and he's a professional, and so he knows what he's doing. Oh, good morning, Mega Boy. Yes, it is another morning stream. And of course on a Friday, got the day off because I got an appointment. Okay, straight out of the box, we've got a a very flimsy tree. And of course, Tamiya, not afraid to use staples. I think they're a pain in the neck because you got to do that, and I don't want to step on them. I definitely don't want a staple getting in my carpet, which is why I use my tweezers. I can rip them out of the plastic, and it's going to be held. Here's obviously our part of our lower fuselage. I'm just going to drop that on the floor because I'm going to have a lot to deal with later. Lower fuselage, and of course the main wings. I think I'm going to have this, I'm going to build this with the wingtips up. I'm going to have them up, I believe. We'll see. I think what I'll do, I don't know, we'll see what the Academy one, what options we get. I don't know if the Academy kit will actually give me the options of having the tips up or not. So we will find out. Next. This particular video just might be nothing more than getting all these sprues out of the bags and having a look at them. We will see. We will see. There's our, speaking of wingtips, there they are. Looks like we've got a little section that's going to go in there, maybe stick out for support. Looks like we've got our engines pieces to go around, our nozzles. There's our insides. We've got a pretty funky looking little section here on how it's going to go in. We've got a pilot seat. One of them anyway, it looks like one seat. Oh, actually it looks like we've got two identical sprues. Yes. Two sprues that are the same. So, one thing that's kind of funny, on the little plate where normally it would say like sprue A, have your sprue letter, it's blank. There's some molding numbers or whatever, there are casting numbers on it, but that's it. It's not an A, B, D, or anything like that. Interesting. Okay. Looks like we've got the tail elevators on this sprue, as well as intake runners, and looks like those inserts for the wingtips. Yep. I was actually watching a video on the F4 Phantom the other day, and how they made mention, oh, we got a little bag with some polycaps in it, so I'll just put those there. Interesting thing about the elevators and how they're inverted on the Phantom. They actually, when you look at the side profile of an airplane wing, it's always like flat on the bottom, and then it kind of curves and comes down over like this, right? Over the top. But the rear wings on a Phantom, they're the opposite. They're upside. It's like they're upside down. It's interesting. I'd like to know, like, just to see. Oh, well, we tried it the normal way, and the plane crashed, you know, or something like that in simulations. This bag, interesting enough, has no staples. It's sealed. So why did Tamiya do that? For this particular sprue. Just more wings. Yeah. Arrestor hook. Interior panels. I'm not sure what these panels are for. They could be interior. They could be for the cockpit. Yeah, the cockpit instrumentation. Yeah, some parts there. before. Another smaller bag. See, this one's got staples. So what happened with that other one? Why did Tamiya do one bag with no staples? I think I got my music a little too loud here. Fuel tank, flaps, and this is inside of the landing gear bay, I believe. Yes, right there. Okay. You guys remember I did build one of these in Tamiya 1/32 scale at the request of one of my viewers, and I enjoyed that one. I had a good time with that one. It was the first time building it may have been my first 1/32 scale build since I was like 20 years old or something like that, or even younger. I think I seem to remember building a 1/32 scale Harrier when I was like maybe 14 or 12 years old or something like that. Nice big long fuselage halves. Looks like we're going to have a panel that's going to go in along there to kind of minimize our seam line between the two fuselage halves. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of interesting that we have this one. This is all one piece, but this side's not. That's might have to deal with a seam line or a big gap. I don't know. We'll see how it goes together. That is for future me. Here's our clear canopy parts. I don't know what they did, why they did it in this fashion. Why did they do that so far apart? They could have easily shortened this sprue, put this right up against there and this right up against here, but oh, whatever. We seem to have, so there's the front. Okay, yeah, so there's the front. There's our pilot, and then our, what do they call him? Is it a Wizzo? Is it the jib? The guy in back? Maybe his, and this is going to be the divider that goes in between these two. It's interesting that they have to do this clear because there is actually a window in there. All right, it's nice that they do that structure all around them to keep it from being scratched or anything like that. That's nice. That's a nice touch. Next bag. Oh, we got another clear bag. Ah, this puts it all as one piece. So if you want to have it nice and simple, the canopy is closed. Two staples for this tiny bag. Come on, Tamiya. Stop wasting the staples. So if you want to have the canopy closed, you've got this option. So that's cool. That's cool. That's a neat idea. And then we've got our other little clear bits for the HUD and stuff like that. So that's cool. I'm going to put that over here. Just because it's small. Next, looks like we've got, there's that center spine to go along the top between the two fuselage halves. Where's my staple? And then it looks like we've got the, oh, what do they call them now? The things that mount your missiles. And the name of them is eluding me for some reason. Yeah, these guys here. And we got some landing gear. Another instrument, cockpit instrument panel, randomly on this one particular sprue. Okay, there's that. Oh, this sprue. Where do our staples go? See, normally I have all this stuff all done already, and so you guys don't have to suffer through me opening up all these bags. But because I've already opened them and kind of had a look at what I'm dealing with, but not this time. So, looks like we've got our intake, the leading edges of our intakes. We've got instrument panels. This looks like it might be maybe the landing gear bay door, ceiling slash bottom of the cockpit. Yeah, this, I'm gonna guess this little nub goes right in that hole. There's our cockpit tub with the only detail in it really is this shaft going down on the floor here. And that's about it. You got to put all the little panels on, which I'll let you guys know what I'm doing with those in a few minutes, because we're not going to be dealing with painting all those little buttons and knobs and stuff. So you guys know it's one thing I do like to put a lot of detail in is the cockpit, and I also know my own limitations on painting that detail, which is why I love Red Fox Studios and their stuff. Okay, so we have another pair of wings, elevators, although these they're a little different. I don't know if these just are the inserts, bottom half or something of them. And we got a nose cone, nice one piece. That's beautiful. Always love that. This looks like it's part of the engines and that little cowling that goes around them. And we got one more sprue in here, and that is missiles. Missiles and missiles and missiles. So you might be wondering, okay, so you look at these two pictures here, and the Tamiya one is an F-4B variant, but the Academy one is an F-4D. And you might be wondering, what's the difference between the B and the D? Well, I actually did a little bit of research. So, the B is a Navy plane, and the D is basically, it's a C, okay, and the C is an Air Force plane. The D is just a C with some different radar in it, and that's basically it. Visually, same plane, but that's really the difference. We've got the B being a Navy plane, and the C or D being an Air Force plane, and that's it. And so we've got all our missiles here. Yeehaw! 2 sprues, 2 sets. I'll do that so they're nice, they sit nice, and that's it. And then we have our instructions, and it looks like we've got some colored pictures, and we have decals. There's our decals. Oh, we even got masks for the canopy. That's a nice touch. Okay, so that's that. So let's just put those back in, and we'll leave these out. We'll put our missiles back and kind of try and get this back in here the way it was. I still think that is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit here, because that's just ridiculous, the amount of sprue. Now if I wanted to make some sprue goo, this would be perfect, because you got lots to use. So, but yeah, that's this is a lot more compact and easier to deal with. Let's see. Put this back in. Okay, so that's the Tamiya kit. Let's just throw this down over here. Now, that's the Tamiya kit. Now let's open up our Academy kit. See what we got here. The Academy, the cardboard they use is a lot sturdier. That's maybe why they get away with not sealing the box. I don't know. Okay, right off the top we have our nice little Korean instructions, warning in assembly of model kits, and right away we've got color photograph, nice color picture of your camouflage pattern, and top and bottom. It's very nice. Let's put that there, and we have black and white instructions. Okay, so there's our Academy kit. Let's put that there. Let's open up our Tamiya instructions. Let's see. So we seem to have quite a few things in here. Tamiya and their tech tips. Same thing as the Academy. This is how you build a model. And they, of course, have their own. It's almost like this is a huge poster. Big poster on the two different color variations of decals, which are kind of silly in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of either of these decals. I personally like the Jolly Rogers, you know, with the skull and crossbones. That one, the black and yellow one, I love that one. That's cool. And I think I have decals for that. I don't remember for sure, but I think I do. We've got another poster. Two posters on this. Now you see this one looks better, but again, it's not the Jolly Rogers. And then we have, and then we finally have all our stencils and where they all go. That's a lot. For a 1/48 scale kit, that's a lot of stencils. Okay, and this is for the A and the C, which is funny. What about the B? Okay, so that's that, and then we have some pictures. So unfortunately, it's all in Japanese, except for they show the little radar thing on the nose. I think it's radar. That's a ANAPR 30RHAW, whatever that stands for. Yeah, just a couple of things in English, but that's the rest is all in Japanese, so I don't know what it's saying. I'm assuming it's all history. Oh, here. Here's the English side. Talking about the engine, the development. There's a bunch of German. It's actually only this part is English. This is like, looks like German. Yeah. They show the arresting hook, the engine, the leading edge slat, the sidewinders, the splitter plates. Ah, they call it the Rio. It's a Rio. A dog tooth. Yeah. The radome, pilot seat, refueling probe, 600-gallon drop tank. Yeah, okay. So that's this little thing. And then we have our instruction book. Just black and white, there's no color, typical Tamiya. But Tamiya's drawings are pretty, you know, they are quite easy enough to figure out. Okay, so let's get rid of these, and let's look at our Academy kit. Right off the bat, we have a complete one-piece fuselage here. So definitely not going to be needing to worry about any weird panel lines or any seams. This is looking, I'm not even seeing any molding lines or anything in this. Although it does have a little bit of a, it's not quite smooth. I might have to sand it, and of course the panel lines are very shallow. So I might have to sand it very, very lightly to get it smooth. It's got a little bit of a texture, except like right up in here, suddenly it gets smooth and almost glossy. So yeah, it's right out of the gate. I can see, although it's cool that this is all one piece, but at the same time we've got scribed panel lines, but then we've got a big lip here. Hear that? Running my nail over that because it's actually raised. So yeah, it's not perfect. And of course, Academy's kind of done this in a way where I guess they think, oh, you're young enough, you don't have all the paints? Well, we'll make it so you don't have to paint it if you don't want to. Which is interesting. I'm gonna get my scissors here, it's a little bit easier. So it looks like this would basically be all the stuff underneath on the bottom half of the plane, and the bottom sides of the wings maybe. Yeah, definitely on our, for the weapons. For our weapons. This plastic feels a little bit, I don't know. The plastic doesn't feel like normal styrene. Almost like it's a blend of something. It's got a funny feel to it. I don't know how to explain it really. Anyway, that's that. It's kind of strange. We got one wing, and it's actually, like, look at that. It's actually molded as it's the top and bottom. Ah, that's not a wing, that's the tail fin. Okay, next, we do a little piece of paper here. Check your part list before unsealing. Too late for that. Okay, we got our canopy. Got our clear parts. And it looks like they've done a similar thing to Tamiya. We've got our front and our rears and our middle section and the front. We've got our little bits on that edge there. Looks like this is our only clear sprue. We'll put that there. I always like putting the clear parts just on their own. Now we have our black sprues. Okay, so we've got our little back part for, that's going to be near the engine. This is also near the engine. Ah, that's going to be like at the top there. It goes on top like this. So it's kind of neat that they've done it separate, so that might make it easier to paint. Our engines are actually one piece. So we don't have to worry about, sometimes you get the two halves going together and you get a pretty distinctive line on the inside that you can see. Sometimes you have to deal with that. But our nozzles, they have a lot less detail than the Tamiyas. Looks like we're getting our short nozzles and our longer ones. I forget, I saw online what the difference was. There's certain variants, maybe it's an older variant that has the short nozzles and other ones have the longer. We've got our cockpit instrumentation, cockpit panels, and then this looks like other engine parts and bits. Well, we got our pilot seats and our Rio seats, more instrument panels, tires. Well, I won't have to worry about painting the tires black. Okay, there's that. Next, we got 2 sprues in one bag. Wingtips, so it looks like I might actually have the options to have the wings up or down, because this is a separate piece. It's going to depend on what kind of detail they put on that I'm going to have on the sides there. 2 nose cones for different variants on that little thing underneath. Just a couple of intake halves. There's our intake splitters or whatever they call them. Oh yeah, see, here's our different 4 different ones depending on which one you're going to use. And we've got our bucket for our cockpit, and there's literally no detail on it at all. You have to insert everything on it, even both bulkheads. Okay, let's put that there. And again, we've got more. So we actually have two sprues, N and M. And although they look, these are different, and our panels for the instruments are different. So maybe it's, I don't know why these 2 are different, we'll find out. But our pilot ones, these look identical to me. I'm not noticing any difference. Although these, for the Rio, these are different. This, especially this up here, that's different than that little square box. But the sides, they're the same. So yeah, 2, an N and an M. Unfortunately, I do have one thing that makes it nice. We can do this and mark that up, so it's a little easier. This is N. So in the future, when I get to it, it's a little easier to figure out which one is which. Okay, next. We're back to the white, and we got some photo etch in here. Photo etch. Wow. Good job, Academy. Adding that little extra something something. Little bag of photo etch. Oh, these are the They're the little markers, reflective markers on the side of the plane. So that's all those are. Got our drop tanks, intakes. That's kind of cool. I won't have to worry about painting this inside of the intakes white. We got a pilot dude standing on the ground. All right. So far, I'm not seeing too much of a difference that would make me say, oh, the Academy kit is not worth building. So far, I'm not seeing anything that's giving me any red flags about it. And this one, we actually have bombs. The Tamiya kit has no bombs. It only has the missiles. It's got sidewinders and it's got sparrows. This kit, we have bombs. And of course, fuel tanks. But the fuel tanks, they look much smaller. I would have to say this whole kit in general, just that, looks a little bit smaller than the Tamiya kit. We will have to see. We got 2 more screws, and here we have our missiles. Yep, there's our sparrows and our sidewinders. We got lots of them too. I like that they're one piece. That makes it nice. We actually have variants on the sidewinders, like these, like A9, maybe M's and A9X's. Did they have X's back then? I don't know. But anyway, they're definitely different types. The heads on them are different. And then we got these, which look the same until you get to here, and then they're suddenly way different. I'm sure the instructions will tell me exactly what they are, but yeah, that's a problem for future me. Next we have, again, 2 sprues, 1 bag, which is good. Save on plastic. We have this sprue, clearly just our upper wing half. They're trying to give me the color that they want the plane put in. Hey, look at that. Ooh, there we go. We got our plane already started. No. And then, of course, our bottom half. And, yeah, our flaps. Landing gear. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. And that's it for our Academy sprues. We have decals. We've got our nice ROKAF decal sheet. That's the one I really want from this kit. And then, holy crap, we got all our stencils for this plane. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot. Wow. Okay. So that's that. Let's put these all back in here in a nice orderly fashion. I'm going to guess that since we have all of our sprues like this, our typical fashion for aircraft is to build the cockpit first. Just a second, I've got a message I need to deal with here. Okay. Let's open her up. What? We're not... The first thing is to deal with some fuselage stuff? The first thing Tamiya wants me to do is paint the inside of the fuselage for the cockpit. I'm going to have to go through our painting list and see what colors they want. For the cockpit, X18, XF19, and XF1. X18 is semi-gloss black. XF1 and 19. 1 is flat black and 19 is sky gray. Hey, I got sky gray right here. And it's XF19. Perfect. So that's good. That's a good start on doing that. Let's take a look at the Academy. It almost looks like, now the Academy kit, like you notice, look at the difference in the color. I don't know, it's not picking it up on the camera. This is yellowed. This is not a nice bright white like the Tamiya. This kit, Academy stopped making this kit. You can't get it from them anymore. It doesn't even come up on their online catalog of kits anymore. I don't know why they stopped making this particular variant of it. I had to get this one off of, I think it was Amazon, or no, it was eBay. I bought this thing on eBay. It came from, this kit actually came from Korea. And even then, the person they put up the sale on eBay, when I purchased it, they actually messaged me saying this particular one might not have been in stock, and so they asked me if I'd be okay with a different one, and I was like, no, I want the Korean one, right? And they wound up finding it, and they had it, and so I got it, and so I'm really happy about that. But you can tell this thing has been sitting for a while, and it's got yellowing on the paper, and it's not quite white anymore. So, oh, this just unfolds. It's one big unfolding thing. It's not a book. So they get a lot to do. It's actually looks like it's going to be a very simple build in comparison to the Tamiya. Maybe there's just not as many parts. So I'll just do this. So, oh, hey, look at that. We got advertisement for other kits. And how to mount the armaments. So that's cool. I'm going to leave that one out because that's our weapons call out. Let's take a look. What colors do they want on their cockpit? Let's see. We want the general color. G13 number 3. They just call it gray FS36231. If we try and go to, they don't have a, it's nice that they show the Humbrol equivalent, the GSI, this guy, Life Color, Testers, Revell, and Vallejo, but they don't do Tamiya, so that kind of sucks. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research what number 317 is on the Mr. Color, and I'll actually pick that up at the hobby store. So yeah, I've got a little bit of research to do for the colors. I gotta go buy some paints to get this all started. I don't want to assemble it until I have the colors, because as you guys know, if you've watched my videos before, which I know a lot of you have, even though 80% of you have not subscribed, which I would really love it if you'd subscribe, Come on, we got 500 of you already. Let's go for another 500. Anyway, I like to kind of have it painted a little bit before I have it assembled, and so that's what I want to do. Even if I just throw some primer and prime the whole thing just right on the sprues, I want to have that done first before we actually get into it. I've got some cleanup to do here now because I got all this plastic all over the floor, and so I'm going to call this done for this video. Opened them up, had a bit of a look at the sprues on both of these kits, and it looks like in a similar fashion to when I compared the Mavericks F-14s, between the Tamiya F-14 and the Rebel. I have a feeling the Tamiya is going to take longer to build. There's going to be more parts in the process than in the Academy. Just looking at the instructions, the Academy looks like a much simpler build to do. What the quality is going to be like and how it looks and how it fits together, that's to be determined. But it looks like just the fact that this is, you know, the Tamiya is a 23-page book compared to, you know, 10 panels on the, well, not even 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 panels on the Academy. So yeah, just going by that alone, the Academy one is going to come together much faster, and so yeah, I'm probably going to be spending a lot more time showing you the Tamiya kit rather than the Academy, because the Academy is going to be going together so fast. But that's going to have to take place next time, because I got an appointment to go to, and I got to get going. I got to head to the store, and I got to clean up all this plastic. So this is where I'm going to end it here for today, guys. And yeah, hit that like button if you like this stuff. Hit subscribe, because I know you probably haven't. And we'll see you all in the next one.